discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set to girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clouds. When you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Baratans too, cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. I done fed up on the dirty water, low pressure, want scream and tell somebody. Imagine 1500 US, and they're telling me super salary. I done fed up on the unemployment racism and the lie they say one Guyana. Cause when you look where the oil money going, circulate with one set of banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
Good evening, a pleasant good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome on International Women's Day to Over to You, especially our females, the women. Today is your day. Welcome to the program. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing tonight? Welcome to the program. Welcome. All right. We're going to be digging in this evening. Lots is happening as we come down close. As we come down close to the elections, a lot is happening. All right, guys. All right. Welcome to the program. Go ahead, share the link, like the program. Over to you. A program for the people, by the people. Welcome, welcome again, everyone. All right, what are we going to dig into tonight? Well, we have a lot to go through tonight. Ms. Siobhan McDonald, a pleasant good evening to you. Mr. Victor Ben, the Honorable Victor Ben, good evening to you, sir. Matthew Dennison, the Harlem guy. Good evening, Brenda Nicholson. Good evening, Vashti McNaught. A pleasant good evening, Miss Vashti McNaught. Miss Brenda Braithwaite, how are you? A pleasant good evening to you. Welcome to the program. Don Sampson, Darkus John, Donna Liverpool, Rosemary Martindale, good night. Good night, everyone. Good night. Welcome. Delon Alexander, Miss Corinne Day, Miss Mary Figueroa, Linda Dainty, Joyce Prince Kingston, Kenneth de Flormont, Godfrey Williams, good evening. Sandra Hanover, good evening to all of you. Welcome, welcome. Miss Pam Halls, I see you. Good evening, All right. So the chess match has been going on, right, ladies and gentlemen? We've been looking at the chess match now for going on 5 years just now. We have been looking at the chess match, and who has been playing, making all the plays? The government. So what do we have coming up in a few months? We have elections coming up. So here is where the people have their play. This is the time for the people. It's the people's turn. All right? It's the people's turn. It was government turn all the way through 4+ years. We're coming in now to the election cycle now. So here is where the people, have their opportunity for their voices to be heard. Although I am still not satisfied, not even being close to satisfied with the posture and position of the Guyana Elections Commission. Okay, I still believe that GECOM is denying the Guyanese people their democratic right, okay, to a clean voters list, and furthermore, biometrics. Okay? What the biometrics does, it presents checks and balances. We want checks and balances. So you have a new list and you have biometrics. So between those two mechanisms, elections should be very, very close to flawless as far as accuracy, statistics and everything. But sitting there right now, the list that is sitting there right now is a list that is fully compromised. Okay? And what makes it even worse and troubling is that this installed government is the government that is sitting in power now. So picture what is happening to that list. Just picture what is happening to that list. All right? So we need a new voters list. We need biometrics. Some people are saying that, they are not concerned. It doesn't worry them if the elections is somewhat delayed to have biometrics and a new list in place. It concerns me a little why it does. And I don't want the elections to be delayed, but at the same time, I wouldn't be the most confident person going into an election with this list and the PPP sitting there as the government. All right. How can you ever trust the PPP? PPP could never be trusted. So we're in a very tough position. And that's one of the reasons why I would have called on all opposition stakeholders to take GCOM to court. I believe it's the right thing to do. I don't believe that there's anything wrong with that. I believe it's a very good case for the opposition, because any judge that's going to come out and rule in the favor of the Guyana Elections Commission has to be walking on his head. He or she has to be walking on their head. You cannot sit in there for 5 years at GCOM knowing what happened in 2020 and did absolutely nothing. That's unacceptable. It is simply unacceptable. How do you expect people to accept that? But in a way, Guyanese on the ground in Guyana, it is kind of your fault, because you guys weren't belling the cat, right? They have seen a trend with you guys that they can do whatever they want to do. And the response from the people on the ground is never really negative. And if it is negative, it is kept hush-hush, because for the most part in Guyana, people are fearful of speaking out. And what are they fearful for? They're fearful for their lives. Could you believe that? Could you believe people are, scared to speak their mind? That shouldn't be. That should not be. Under the coalition, that wasn't the case. You can say whatever you want to say once it's within the scope, or what we would want to call the ambit of the law. Right? This PPP install regime came into power, and what they did, they put great emphasis on the ERC, the Ethnic Relations Commission. Well, I know they see what we did to that. That ERC ain't functioning anymore. They can't write us anything. We don't want to hear nothing. They can't do nothing to Dr. Hines. Not a single thing. Nothing. Okay? There's no ERC. That can be revisited after the elections. Okay? There's no ERC. What you guys think? Barra Jagdeo is immune from scrutiny? No ERC. You guys can't tell anybody, not anybody on this broadcast or anyone that this link is shared to that the ERC writes. Please inbox me. Please. Good riddance. Stay out of the election. Stay out of everything. Let's just go at it. Mano y mano, because that's what Barra Jagdeo wants. That's what he's going to get. Okay? And here, let's address elections. Let's start addressing elections one time. People on the ground in Guyana, let's wisen up a bit. Right now, I would say to you, do not just go and put your vote. Do not just go and cast your vote. Demand that you hear debates amongst these leaders. Demand debates. You guys deserve that. Because what happens on Thursdays is shameful. It's disgraceful. To me, it's damn childish. Propaganda should not sit a government in Guyana. Propaganda should not sit a government in Guyana. Yes, Jagdeo, we're getting serious. We're getting serious. That deception that you just bring on Thursdays, where people praising you for what? Putting people through sufferings? Really? And here, don't come and talk about wars that you have with other people on your press conference. We don't care. We don't care. Because all of you guys is the reason why Guyanese is living the way they are now, in poverty. All of you guys. You've taken all the spoils and split it amongst yourselves. Now you guys want to argue and fight with each other. Go right ahead. Y'all could do more than arguing and fight with each other. We don't care. Don't come and tell us about that. Because when y'all was busy ripping the Guyanese people to shreds, you think you guys had time with them? You think you guys was transparent with all that you were taking from them? Not alleged. There's no alleged here. Let us in on your finances and we'll see everything. So I'm not coming here and allege anything. Now you want to come and talk about who is qualified and who is not qualified. Are you qualified? Are you qualified? Now, mind you, I don't really care about the people who you're talking about, whether they're qualified or not. Because on the side of the opposition, there's already 3 leaders in place. 3 leaders of the 3 main parties in the opposition. And then we have some other leaders that have small parties also. It's just a matter to see where they are aligning. And I know they cannot be aligning with the PPP. Because if they're aligning with the PPP, they have no interest in the Guyanese people. And before they even build themselves into a party, they should be eliminated. Any party that does not have the Guyanese people at heart should be eliminated immediately. Don't come here with that nonsense. What you guys think? Everybody gonna come and get a piece of the pie and just get rich and just leave the people just like that high and dry? You guys are public servants. What you think? You guys are public servants put in place to serve the people of Guyana. The number one narrative is that to enrich yourself. Oh, but PPP, that's exactly what you guys have done. That's exactly what you guys have done. You guys give that guy who does have them that talk show in the morning a massive, huge How much $1 million contract? I understand that all the logs are there sitting, rotting, and all kind of thing. And Jack Deere, you got the North to come on your platform on Thursday and talk cheese to people. You should be the last to do so. Oh, you guys are in for a tremendous fight. And it's not a fight that you're going to win. You're not going to be victorious. I don't care who exterior investor or investors that are backing you guys. They're not going to just walk into Guyana and dictate terms. Oh no. You people on the ground in Guyana, stop having people just come into your country and dictate terms to you. Okay? Because the last government was threatened that they lost the elections and all this kind of thing, give up power, or else there would be sanctions. I say this now. I wasn't giving up power until I speak to my people. I had to speak to the public. I had to get the public's opinion. And if the public had said, hey, you swearing and stay right there, we are prepared to deal with whatever consequences there is. Trust me, 100% I was swearing in. Sanctions. Sanctions. Let's talk about sanctions. 53% of Guyanese is living in poverty. That's sanctions already. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Guyanese, let's get out of the habit of always being lured into deception. You see what he does? He comes on his press conference and he's trying to lower the temperature. You know, you're not hearing anything but biometrics, which he had called for, you know. This same man had called for biometrics when he sat there in opposition. That same man called for a new voters list. Right? But they had the list fixed. Favorable to them. So no, the man does not care. And you know what people do? People look and call him smart. Listen, I beg to differ. What is smart about that? That is stealing in bright daylight. It's just that Guyanese are just not belling the cat the way they should. It is stealing in bright daylight. Look, this morning early, Mr. Sherrod Duncan had a program. And the program kind of highlight, you know, a lot of what Jack Deere said on Thursday that was incorrect. And I called for that right on this program, that the opposition in their war room need to sit down and they need to have their own little group of experts that is fact-checking the statements of this guy, and then you come out with a rebuttal. You cannot have propaganda sit a government. You cannot. Propaganda is not factual. That guy come every Thursday and make up stories. The guy doesn't even come out and say, okay, here I'm going to do a breakdown for you guys. He just comes out and he makes up stories. And that's not good enough for the people of Guyana, whereby 53% of them is living in poverty. That's not good. That's not good. Look, we have the rice farmers in the Blackbush Polder area. Ladies and gentlemen, the rubber has now hit the road. The rice farmers are coming out and bringing their complaints to the table. They are crying out for help. It's not the job of the opposition to just rush down to see what the rice farmers need, because this has happened to the opposition before, where they've rushed into things and tried to help people, but then those same people, when come time for election, they pivot back and vote the other way. So my thing is that what the rice farmers have to understand, that this is not just them. It's a systematic problem with this government. It's a systematic issue. It's not just Black Bush Polar. It's all across Guyana. So when you see it comes time for elections, they need to take that same vigor to the polls and vote for a new government. Vote for a new coalition government that is going to have everyone sitting at the table. Everybody's going to have a say. It's not going to be where you have a runaway train. You guys can come together as a coalition and slap the brakes on that train. And not just slap the brakes on them. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this. Don't get your hopes up too high and too fast. Because to the extent that you get a new government, number one, you don't know what kind of treasury they are going to inherit. If they inherit a treasury that is empty, then they have to replenish the funds and do all these things. That's going to take time. Number two, one of the first actions of the government, a new government, should be to bring back Saro. We have a lot of assets to recover that belongs to the Guyanese people. That was purchased with monies that belongs to the Guyanese people in other people's names, who minister and own this, who minister and own that. Oh, I heard about you guys, man. I heard about the minister that's responsible for the oil. I heard that man is one of the richest men in Guyana. Also the agriculture minister. Oh, you guys, man. You guys gonna have to source all of that. You guys gonna have to source your assets, man. Don't bring no stupid receipts. Don't bring them little fake stamp receipts. They ain't working. Source. You know what it means? Not one level of sourcing. All the way down to the nitty-gritty, where it all began. Where it all began. All right? You guys have disenfranchised the Guyanese people. You guys don't like anybody to speak about you. No. You guys must just take everything and everybody must just shut up like if we were all dunce and stupid. Well, we are not. We are not. Okay? And Guyana, let me say this. Guyana is a wealthy country, okay, with 6 ethnic groups. I don't care who was invited to visit Guyana. Guyana will never be an Indo state. Hello. I am a son of the transatlantic slave trade. My ancestors, okay, is only the Amerindian Guyanese. Some of the tribes would have arrived in Guyana before them. Okay? So, ain't nobody coming and tell me in my own country that I'm going to play second fiddle to them. We have 6 ethnic groups, and all 6 ethnic groups will be treated, again I say it, will be treated with dignity and respect. Okay? Sanjeev Dattadin. Sanjeev Dattadin. Your statement, okay, your statement that young African Guyanese, they are fertile ground. Young African Guyanese are fertile ground, meaning that they're susceptible to anything. Meaning the young African Guyanese men, you could hand them a gun and you could tell them who to go and execute and who not to execute. Well, hear this. Hear this. Or you can walk all over them however you want to do it. We're having these programs here to edify the young Guyanese males and females, all of them, for a matter of fact. Not just Afro Guyanese, but the major target is the African Guyanese, because they are the ones who are facing the brunt, okay, the brunt of the failures by your government, Sanjeev Datta Din, that you're involved in. And again, the statement that you made, it didn't surprise me. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this. The PPP is all about deception. Okay? There is two manifestos. The external manifesto, that is fake out everybody. It's deception. The internal manifesto is where Sanjeev Datta Din mouth slip. He mouth slip. That's internal knowledge. You understand me? He mouth slip. I tell you, the Most High does work in mysterious ways, because I glad his mouth slip. I glad his mouth slip, because I was always of the opinion that the PPP have two manifestos. Always. An internal and an external. All right? You're not going to gain ethnic supremacy in Guyana. The other 5 ethnic groups will not stand for it. They will not stand for playing second fiddle to any one ethnic group. Guyana belongs to all of us. All right? And we're going to see that. After this election, when we have a new coalition government, we're going to see that. And don't think that you guys going to just run out of the country. You're not going to run. You're going to stay and you're going to face the music. You're going to stay and you're going to face the music. All right? Guyanese, the Guyanese people are going to step up. There's a lot of people crossing and running to sides and doing all this kind of stuff. You know? And here, there are some people who come out and they pretend. That's why I always say to the people of Guyana, please, brothers and sisters, vet your leaders. Vet them inside out. Spend time studying and analyzing. Okay? Analyze them. Don't just put anybody in leadership. All right? Some people, the only motive for getting into leadership is to display power and to gain wealth. A la Bara Jagdeo. Loves power. Very wealthy. Off of the backs of the Guyanese people. All right? We have fallen behind as a country. We have fallen way behind as a country, especially from an education perspective. Right? Since 1994, UG was taken away. All right? Since 1994. It has now been reintroduced. And the PPP just come out, free university education. No, it has always been that way. You guys have took it away from the Guyanese people. Yes, Sanjeev Datta Din, your government, okay? Your government has taken it away from the Guyanese people. Hence the reason that you can say with young African Guyanese, they are fertile soil. That means that you guys can tap into them. Well, young Guyanese, when you go to place your votes, okay? When you go to place your ballots, you guys must remember these things. Right? Not just these things. All Guyanese. You guys need to remember the fallen brothers. All right? Remember what you're voting for. All right? Look, I'm just telling you what you're voting for. Remember the billions of dollars, the trillions of dollars that was earned over the 5 years. right, of oil extraction. Where is the money? You're seeing massive buildings going up. Those buildings don't say that they're public buildings. All right. You're seeing big corporations that owns helicopters and all these different things. I asked one question. Who are the investors? Who are the investors in Sheriff Corporation? I don't have no problem calling no names of any corporations in Guyana. I don't have any issue. I'm not violating for asking. Who are the investors? Your list of investors should be public knowledge. All right? That should be public knowledge. It's not. You guys blanket everything. You are non-compliant when it comes to being, when it comes to transparency to the people of Guyana. Totally non-compliant. I don't know if anybody have heard anything of late about the Marriott Hotel. I know I came out and I lashed out about that and it wasn't sold. I think the guy ended up getting a heart attack and dying. I hope it wasn't my statements that gave him a heart attack. But as far as I know, it's off of the backs of the taxpayers in Guyana that the Marriott was built. It's their money. So it cannot be a unilateral decision where Barrett Jagdeo comes up and say, hey, we're going to sell this asset. No! It's the Guyanese people own. As long as oil is being extracted in Guyana and tourism is up to par in Guyana, the Marriott is going to have a useful life of many years. Many, many years. And should be profitable. I don't see why the Marriott is going to be in the red. It should be profitable. If it's not profitable, you guys would have to give good reasons. But here, Guyanese, hear the thing. Hear the thing. No, that hotel there was a hotel that it's public funds that built it. So I would say it belongs to the public. But with the PPP, man, how you gonna have the Marriott be public? How you gonna have it be public? You don't want poor Indians and African Guyanese to have any stake in that. Let's sell it off to who? No other than an Indian investor. You guys, it is obvious, PPP, it is obvious that you guys are racist. It is obvious. The writing is on the wall. How can we see something and you want us to just look past it? You're telling me that there's not one or 5 African investors getting together, or 2 Africans and a Amerindian and 3 Guyanese of East Indian descent getting together as a quorum and purchasing the Marriott? Man, look, you guys got a big body system. And Guyanese, you gotta be patient. Because a new government is going to be stagnant for a bit. Because you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that the financial infrastructure of Guyana right now is dominated and controlled by the PPPC. And that has to be eradicated. Understand that. PPP, you can't get away with anything. I have studied you guys, just like how you guys study the Guyanese of African descent. I have studied you now. I understand how all the wealth come about. And all the rich will be responsible for sourcing how they got rich. It is only fair. This is not by chance that it is so lopsided when it comes to wealth in Guyana. It's not by chance, it's by design, ladies and gentlemen. This is by design in order to gain ethnic supremacy. Well, here, The new government will be put to task. Oh, I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. The new government will be put to task. You guys are telling me that one family in Guyana own is what? Is either 80 or 88,000 acres of land. And the government is not aware? Come on. Oh, I only run into this person one time or two times. He can't even put together two coherent sentences. Don't say that now. Don't say, we don't want to hear that. What do you think? You're going to talk these things and move us away from the issue? Jagdeo, I'm locked in on the issues. I'm locked in on the issues. You can't get me off task. You cannot get me off task. All the people that want to praise you, let them go along and praise you. But I say this, as they praise you, they have no respect for their Marty. None. Because as long as there's any leader and Guyanese are suffering, I got a problem with him or her, whomever it is, I don't care. Guyanese shouldn't be made to punish in their own country. We have too many resources. We have too much resources. We are too wealthy as a nation for more than half of our country to be living in poverty. And Barry Jagdeo, you're a vile individual. You open up that border. You allow the Venezuelans to pour in. To Guyana. No hard feelings against the real people who was feeling the strain in Venezuela. But you allow all kind of people to pour into Guyana. You cannot tell the Guyanese people whether or not they're military experts on the ground in Venezuela already providing knowledge to the Venezuelan army. That is happening. Whether you want it, whether you like it or not. That is exactly what is happening. And you sit there with your 12, 15-foot fence and your CCTV camera, all your security, right? And the Guyanese people are made to deal with all the consequences of that. Those people can hurt our people. And I'm not talking about all Venezuelans. And for any Venezuelan or Venezuelan family that is listening into this program, don't vote PPP. They're the reasons why your Mati that you come and meet in Guyana is living so poorly. So you leave a struggle in Venezuela and you come to Guyana here, it's not going to be for betterment. If you don't vote this government out, it's not going to be for betterment. Look at Venezuela now, trying to encroach again on Guyana. Where is the interlocker, Ralph Gonzalez? He done come and did what he got to do, take his payment, whether it's in cash from Guyana, oil from Venezuela, whatever the case, and the man gone away. My Motley and CARICOM and all of them that came in 2020, everybody said what they had to say. And everybody gone. Carter sent everybody. If anybody from the Carter Center or anybody here who have links to the Carter Center, link this broadcast to them, because what they have done to the Guyanese people is despicable. I call it for what it is. It's despicable. That's my opinion. It is despicable. I don't care who want to call themselves Carter Center and all that. Listen, man, this is about people's livelihood. All right. Whenever I look at everything and I look at everything from a holistic perspective, you know it boils down to the quality of life for my Guyanese brothers and sisters. The quality of life for our pensioners, who I tremendously respect, because they're the ones who would have paved the way that people today could have a Guyana. And now we got this oil wealth, and you treat them as if they're lapidards in their own country. That they stay, some of them had the opportunity, I'm sure, to go out in the diaspora and work. But in their head, they said, let me stay and build my country. Let me don't go and use my expertise to build someone else's country. Let me stay and build my home right here in Guyana. And look how you guys treat them. Look how you guys treat the pensioners. Some of them with $100,000 cash grant that went to the pickup sites, they fainted, all kind of different things. Y'all think this right? PPP, y'all think this right? I segue now, ladies and gentlemen. I segue now. I'll just take a quick glance down at your comments. See if I got anything that I want to respond to. All right. You guys are lighting it up in the comments, man. Keep it going. Keep it going. This is your show. When you come on here, bring your comments, bring your suggestions, bring everything. I just read every single comment on this program. I read my comments on this program because this program is about you. It's about the people of Guyana. It's not about Wayne Caesar. You guys give me an opportunity to sit here. And when I come here on Saturday, I got to come through for the Guyanese people. That's my job here on Saturdays. And I take it very, very seriously. Very seriously. Ian Harry, PPP trolls call. Yes, Ian Harry, I agree with that. I agree with that. Every time I see someone from the opposition, okay, say something derogatory in comments on any program that I may tap into, is always in response to something nasty that someone from the PPP side would have said. I don't want to judge people on educational capacity and knowledge. I don't want to. But good gracious, sometimes the comments that I see, my goodness, vile, nasty. They could have only gotten that, ladies and gentlemen, by going to a Barajagdio Bottomhouse meeting. What's the guy name? Bharat Ramsuk. Bharat Ramsuk. That guy is of East Indian descent. That was sitting with, he was in a picture with Indar. Minister Indar. That had the most violent, nasty things to say about Melissa Atwell, aka Melly Mel. Vile, nasty, filthy. He wish she would die. He wish she should this. He wish, I don't come to America. I don't have to deal with all. What? And the ERC talking about what? Looking at what Dr. Hines said. Get out of here. Please. Get out of here. Looking at what Dr. Hines said. You guys better get out here with that nonsense, man. We're not even hearing that. We're not even hearing that. Audrey Brown, thank you. 80,000 acres of land. Yes, 80,000 acres of land to one family. Is that fair? Is that fair? Look how many Guyanese on the list of piece of land. And ladies and gentlemen, look how they treat our brothers at Mocha, our brothers and sisters at Mocha and Hillfoot. Bulldoze them for the couple, I don't know, couple house lots. Don't call it acres. Couple house lots. Mocha's always been somewhat a farming community. You run a highway through Mocha, so what? If when you're high-end dignitaries passing through, they see farming, how you think we're gonna produce food for our people? Oh, but no, we need to bulldoze and move them. We don't want these type of houses at the highway front. We want castles to paint the optics that our people are well off. Where? To all the exterior investors that out there listening, let me say this to you guys. You guys can get the same deal that you are having with the PPP. They could be more authentic and not corrupt deals where knowledge is not shared with the Guyanese people. You can get the same type or very similar deals with a coalition government. A coalition government will not get into place and lock down Guyana. That is not the purpose here. Okay? The world is moving along. We understand that clearly. But what you exterior investors have to understand, okay, is that why you're seeing us and why you're seeing the installed government getting so much opposition is because you guys are making deals with them, okay? And the PPP makes deals unilaterally. They are front and back of the deals. Nothing is trickling down to the Guyanese people. 53%, this is the third time I'm saying this on the program. 53% of Guyanese is living in poverty. We have a matriculation rate of 25%. But you guys are investing in our country. And you guys come and you guys show up at the Marriott for Energy conferences, amongst other things, where the Guyanese opposition is locked out. So don't get upset with us when we come on our programs and we say what we have to say. Because we have all right to do so. Guyana does not belong to 500 people. Okay? With the influx of Venezuelans and all of that, we probably in the 760,000, 800,000 range now with people. Listen, this change is going to happen, whether people like it or not. This change is going to come to fruition. I strongly believe so. I strongly believe that the Guyanese people have had enough. Okay? Again, ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, the leader of the opposition and all the opposition stakeholders should engage the PPP in debates. Invite them publicly. Post it in the newspapers. Put it in the Village Voice. While I say Village Voice, I encourage everyone to please support the Village Voice. Please support the Village Voice. There need to be debates. The Guyanese people need to look at both sides, okay, and see which side, is presenting better and would handle the issues that they are facing. And I say this with no regret. I do not believe that there's anything that the PPP can say to the Guyanese people right now. I don't believe so. After approximately 6 years going on, of extraction of oil. The only equity in it for Guyanese is $100,000 cash grant. And to obtain the $100,000 is like pulling teeth. How fair is that? How fair is that? And then when you look at the ministers, they are wealthy beyond wealthy. I've never seen Barry Jagdeo in the community saying, hey, you know what? I need to give back to the people of Guyana. I'm going to go on the ground and I'm going to support a few families. I'm going to look at women with a lot of children that are in need. And I'm going to contribute towards building a house for this person or doing something. I've never seen that. Again, I say it because I've said it before. I've never seen Barry Jagdeo come out on a program and display his love and care for the Guyanese people. I've never seen that. I've never seen him get emotional when it comes to the people of Guyana. He is just a calculated, cold-blooded human being. And I say human being questioning even that portion of what I just said. Cold-blooded, calculated, has no feelings, have no conscience. He just comes, and when you ask him some of the most pertinent questions, he just smiles. Don't worry. PPP, your time is up. The end is quite near for you guys. Opposition, continue to engage. Parties, please continue to engage. All right? The people are expecting a coalition. You're playing a little bit behind here. We need to step on the gas, step on the gas, step on the gas. MPs and leader and MPs come together. MPs, align yourself with the leader. Align yourself with the leader. That's what you've signed up for. The leader is the leader. If you don't like the leader, okay, please respect the position, execute your duties. It's not time for talk shows. It's time to be on the ground with the people, empowering them, edifying them, okay, bringing about hope. I hope that this program would have brought some hope to the Guyanese people. All right? Raise your heads, ladies and gentlemen. Raise your heads. Do not allow anyone, any party, any government to make you walk with your heads down. Do not allow them. They cannot win. You are in control of government. Government is not in control of you. You determines who sits in government. Okay? You determines who sits in government. A new government must make sure, I don't know how it can happen, but everybody at GCOM needs to be fired. Everybody. Every single body. I don't care. I do not care. Oh, but this person, I don't care. I don't care. Find other employment for them. Okay? That unit has disenfranchised the Guyanese people. And Claudette Singh, you're still doing it. How can you not put a new voters list in place after what would have occurred in 2020, lady? You have no excuse. There is no excuse that you can come up with. Why have you not put biometrics in place? I think I heard something going around that biometrics needs to be approved at the parliamentary level. Well, goodness gracious, Claudette Singh, you had 5 years to do this thing. Rhonda Lane has been out there. Where you think she was protesting? I know you see your placards. You wear glasses. I know you saw her placards. What it said. You have no excuse whatsoever. And you must continue to sit down at GCOM and earn a salary? Well, I beg to differ. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem with Guyana. We are slow and backwards. We allow people to sit down and do absolutely nothing and pulling in money while you have other people graduate from university and all of that searching for jobs. And what she's making as a salary probably could pay 4 of them. That's the problem we have in Guyana. Going forward, we have to eradicate such things. It shouldn't happen. I'm glad to think, how old is you? How old are you? It's not time you throw in the towel and go and rather than being there sitting down and being somebody's puppet. You are the puppet of that bully that shows up on Thursdays. Our Guyana Defense Force. Our Guyana Defense Force. There's no equity in being a soldier. There's no equity in being a soldier. And for the most part, who is brave enough to want to join the Guyana Defense Force? Young African Guyanese. Young African Guyanese. I'm not knocking the cane cutters. You can't send the cane cutters to the border, though. You wouldn't send the cane cutters to the border. The cane cutters would not go to the borders. They would not obey that order. But yet, you got sons of the Atlantic, the transatlantic slave trade, peddling through the rivers with a canoe with an engine on it, getting shoot up by Venezuelans. I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up. It's simple facts. I'm sure those young men, none of them have an house lot. And I'm sure most of them would have served in the army for over 3 years. We need to bring rules in place, man. We need to bring rules in place that's going to bring equity to the Guyanese people. Hence the reason I like some of the proposals that are being put forth, by the PNCR, which of course is going to become a coalition. I like some of the things that I heard from the leader of the opposition with regards to rent to own. That's a big thing. That's massive. And paying rent, your rent that you pay monthly in Guyana, and the cost to rent a place contributes tremendously to poverty. So what the leader of the opposition and his team has come together there with, that's one great thing. All right? With the pressure from not the opposition only, but all social media. I give credit to all the social media presenters with regards to free university education. That is another part of the mechanism that needs to be put together, to eradicate poverty. For the new government, this is not going to be easy, ladies and gentlemen. Because remember I said earlier in the program, majority of the financial infrastructure in Guyana is controlled by the PPPC. They made it that way purposely. You know why they did that? Let me tell you guys why they did that. They did that to the extent there's a new government. You're not going to see the normal cash flow that you're going to see, because they can control and manipulate that. And then you know what you're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, on the ground in Guyana? You're going to lose faith in the administration. And then they're going to push. All right? Until they get another no confidence motion where the people are going to agree because the people said nothing is happening for us from a financial perspective. Why? Because they control the financial infrastructure. Jack Dio, I'm on to you, man. You can't, you just can't hang with me. You can't. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to eradicate that. We have to rebuild. There's going to be a rebuilding process where we're going to have a balance of equity, a balance of the wealth in Guyana. Okay? Because that's why things like this can happen. Because there's an imbalance, all right, when it comes to distribution of wealth across the country. A major imbalance. Continuing, guys. I think I named two, right? Education and the rent to own. New government will have to consistently create jobs. Because if you have free university, that means you're going to have a higher matriculation rate at the university level. All right? You don't want to educate people in Guyana to go out and countries in the diaspora is going to benefit from it. Right? You want to educate your people and they stay at home and build Guyana. All right? No. We've been talking about another thing here. And this can be a thorn in the side for a new government. All the loans that are being taken out. You can, the coalition can't get into government and say, oh, the PPP is responsible for loans. No, it's government. You replace them. You're responsible for the loans. I'm just alerting Guyanese early. I'm alerting them early. All right, no. With all the loans that are coming out, remember, these loans are being taken out more so. We've become creditworthy. We've become tremendously creditworthy as a country because of our oil reserves. But I was on a program yesterday where I spoke about the point of Venezuela oil opening up, and or it was discussed Venezuela oil opening up and Russia oil opening up, because you see that the US is dealing with Russia. So the Russian oil product is going to be back on the market, and they just produce a lot. Okay? They just produce a lot. So when you have all that oil on the market, all right? When you have all of that oil on the market, Venezuela, Russian oil, people are going to become less dependent on Guyana oil. Hence, an inverse relationship where the price per barrel is going to go down. Where does that leave us? Less revenue coming into Guyana. I would have said this on earlier programs that this whole oil boom is going to come and go, and the Guyanese people are not going to gain any equity from it. We are seeing it. Guyana, it's one of the worst things that would have happened to you with the PPP being able to push themselves into power in 2020. It's one of the worst things. All that infrastructure they've put in place. You're telling me that nobody could have even thought of putting a small to medium-sized oil refinery in Guyana? We are importing cars. People are buying cars like if they're out of style. We're an oil-producing nation, and the fuel is through the roof. The cost of gas is through the roof. It's too much. It's out there that we're growing as a country. We're the fastest growing economy and all kind of thing. But the value of our dollar remains the same. Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, look, I don't even want to go deeper into it. because there is so much that we can discuss. There is so much that the PPP as a unit is missing. We're dealing with not even a half a government. You're dealing with an installed quarter government, Guyanese. Because it takes lead party and opposition to come together as a quorum to form a government. The lead party don't engage the opposition. Only in issues with regards to Venezuela, when Venezuela is ready to encroach on Guyana, because obviously the experts on this matter lies on the side of the opposition. All right? Venezuela encroach on a serious level. Irfan Ali, Jagdeo, and all the PPP dignitaries jump on a plane to Panama, and from Panama a plane straight to Dubai. Guyanese, you are left to face the music. All of you wants to bow to Barra Jagdeo or our VP, all of you, you're going to be right there to face the music. All right? There's other ways to, this whole one Guyana thing. There's other ways. There's other ways. And look, if this elections is not free and fair this time around, okay, it's not going to be like a long time. This elections needs to be free. It needs to be fair. This runaway train style, it's got to change. Okay? I don't believe in winner take all. But I'll say this. To the extent there's a new government, it needs to be winner take all so that they can fix back. They can try and fix back all that this installed regime would have changed in their favor. A new government need to break down all the corrupt infrastructure that was developed by this corrupt government. Yes, Mansour Nadir, corrupt government. A word that you're trying to ban in parliament. Can't ban that word, Mansour. Are you not thinking? Are you not seeing? You blind? All of you guys have gotten rich off of the people of Guyana. All of you guys are having a jolly time while they live in poverty. And you want to ban words? You guys swear that you're dictators. You're swearing that you're dictators. Barra Jagdeo used to create mayhem when he sat in opposition. Mayhem. He couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand not having his thumb on Guyana. He couldn't stand not being able to oppress the Guyanese people. He couldn't stand to see a coalition government fighting day and night to try to eradicate poverty. He couldn't stand it. But Guyanese, we need to band together. Okay? Those over the fence conversation with neighbors need to start again. Okay? You guys need to get involved with your politics, because it's going to shape not just your life, but the life of your children, grandchildren, and future bloodlines. You guys are now in the firing line as the adults. It is your responsibility to make sure that your children go to school, to make sure that you're edifying them on political issues, to make sure that you're edifying them to what is right and to what is wrong. Okay? It is your job. You need to teach them about integrity and how important it is to keep your integrity intact. All right? That is something that needs to be taught to the young people on the ground in Guyana. Yes, they're teaching you guys to party every night. They're teaching you guys to sport every night. But you know what? They are getting rich off of you. You work for them. They pay you. You pay back rent to them. You sport out your money with them. So it is a cycle. They continue to gain. You continue to work, and you see no gain for what you're working for because you're paying rent. When you go to the supermarket, you buy from them. When you go to the sporting bar, you're sporting all your money back to them. Oh, I'm going to teach you guys. I'm going to teach you guys that you guys are going to get some equity, okay, for breaking your back working. All right? You're going to control your spending. You're going to be more smart. You're going to use your wisdom. Don't allow anybody to control you. Be an independent thinker. You need to spend time. That's how you're going to get better. You need to spend time in deep thought. Scroll through the comments one more time here, guys. We're coming down to closing time. We're coming down the road here. Flash Garden. Yes. Flash, excellent point. Barnum encouraged the people of Guyana to get involved in the business of their country. And you know, a lot of people call the Honorable Great Lyndon Forbes Sampson Barnum a lot of things. But you know what? When my more mature friends call me and they sit down and they talk to me about all the things that they had, and mind you guys, I do ask them a lot of questions. I asked them, I said, were you guys living in poverty? Were you guys ever hungry? They answered to me, when you mad. When you mad. They had fruit trees all over the place. They had canned orange juice, canned pineapple juice. You had biscuit factory, clay brick factory, glass factory. You had all kind of different things. And they said when people could have worked 2, 3, 4 different jobs because they were always a need. I just giving you a summary of what these guys have said to me. And I asked the question, what happened today? Why are so many Guyanese not working? What happened today? They had Litco milk. You had all kind of stuff. Even at ice factory, Guyana fisheries, all kind of different things, man. But you know what? We don't have Guyana nothing anymore. We don't have Guyana nothing anymore. We have Guyana the rich. Everything the rich own. Everything is privatized and owned by the rich. Because they're going to control the narrative. We got to repivot. Ladies and gentlemen, the world is moving forward. We understand that. We are not asking to move backwards. We are asking to move forward. But at the same time, when we move forward, we are taking our Guyanese values. We are taking our integrity with us. Okay? Because we are not giving up our integrity to become rich. That's not the intention here. We want to see the backs of the PPP, of course, but without giving up our integrity. I for sure know that I born with mine and I intend to die with it all intact. Wences is never available to the highest bidder. Wences is available to the people of Guyana. Wences is obligated to the people of Guyana. That's it. It starts and ends right there. Any government that comes into place that's going to serve the people of Guyana and is going to seek to eradicate poverty, I am all in. But From the time you have a different agenda, I am all out and attacking you too. I will attack you. This opposition, all the parties, have shown that they have an interest in making Guyana equitable for its people, to be more transparent to the people of Guyana. Okay? To put mechanisms in place to once again educate our people. And for that, I am with them. I am leaning that way. There's no way, there is no chance that I can look at the PPP and say, look, here is something great that they've done. $100,000 cash grant, ladies and gentlemen, the PPP was pressured to do that. And this is an election year. So that is a part of their election pitch. From the time they got into office, I said it. I said, we're not going to get free university until the final year. It's going to be used as an election pitch. Well, hear this. You are not allowed to play with the education of the Guyanese people and get away with it. You are not allowed in an oil-producing Guyana to deprive them of four years that they could have been educating themselves and get away with it. Who the heck you guys think you are? Who do you think you are? And the Guyanese people should make sure that the PPP does not get away with this. The cards, Guyanese, the cards are now in your hands. It's in your hands. Oh, yes. It is now in your hands. While I'm at it, Anog, Ralph Ramkaran, Timothy Jonas, where are you guys aligning? Where are you guys aligning? Where is the party Anog aligning? You guys have somebody there sitting in parliament illegally. You have not done anything about it. You cannot continue to deceive and trick the Guyanese people. Don't talk to the opposition in the background. Come public. Come public. I have nothing against you guys, but I'm going to say this. Don't deceive the Guyanese people. Because if you deceive or if you're trying to deceive the Guyanese people, we have a problem. We have a problem. I'm going to call you guys out. Ralph Ramkaran, you are a big man. Come out and speak to the people of Guyana. Because the decision that you guys make as a party to align yourself with the PPP was the wrong decision. And I believe that when you do something that is wrong, you have a right to admit that you're wrong, apologize, and move forward doing the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes before the hour of 8:30 here in the United States, I'm sure it's 5 minutes before the hour of 9:30 in Guyana, we are coming down to closing time here. And as I close this evening, I say this to you guys. Okay? As a son of the ancestors of the transatlantic slave trade, okay, the blood of lynching, the blood of beatings, whippings, the blood of murder, the blood of fear runs through my veins, just like it do many of my fellow African Guyanese brothers and sisters. All right? This is the 21st century. All right? We will not stand for anyone dictating to us. We will not stand for anyone walking into Guyana, especially after us. I know our Guyanese Amerindian brothers and sisters, some of their tribes were there before us. But we're not going to stand, okay, for anyone. We have emancipated ourselves. A lot of Africans who could have lived, 20, 30, 40 additional years have given their lives in that struggle, okay? They have band together and they've purchased villages right across the coast, right across Guyana, starting with Victoria, Golden Grove, Pleasance, all these Mocha, all these different villages. We will not allow anybody to come and make Guyana into an Indo state. Guyana has 6 ethnic groups, and like I said, we are going to put together a government. We're going to have a coalition government that is going to bring equity to all 6 ethnic groups. My brothers and sisters, I love you all very much. I hope that the program was edifying to you as you go into the new week. Okay, be safe, everyone. And I say this, I hand it over to you until next weekend. Once again, love you all. Good night.